Get started. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everyone doing? It's been a while, it's been a minute. Um, this probably has been one of those months where I really haven't gone live a lot. I haven't. And truth be told, I think it needed to be that way for me for this month. Hold on a second. Let me find a little background music. Hold on a second. Let's see. What do we have here? It's been a minute since I've been through catalog here. You know what? Let's see. Maybe this. Maybe we go here. Okay. Yeah. So let's just set a mood, set a vibe. You know, first things first, let's say hey to everyone that's in the building. Let's get started with our usual suspects. We got Auntie Leah, salute, salute. We have Tanya Johnson. We got LA Chick. Mirren is here. Reese is here. Who else do we have in the building? Noelle is here. Okay. Baybound. What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, started off with a little bit of love. Hey, Kai, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Absolutely, Barbara J. And salute to the lovely Barbara J. We got Kiki Eyes. We got Pat Blair. Yvonne is in the house. Hey. Golden Aries. Barb. What's up? Okay, we got Christian. Oh, Barbara J came through. Thank you, Barbara J. Salute. Salute. Appreciate that. You know, when we stay away for long periods of time like this, it really requires us to get back into the swing of the algorithm, because that's pretty much how this app works. Like, the more active you are, the more they promote your channel. And it's wild, because I can honestly say, starting out this new year, it's for me, it's been very introspective. Very introspective. What's going on, A Reed? Yam J in the house. Rochelle, hey. Hey, Noelle. So yeah, we got new members. Melanin, welcome. Welcome. Welcome to Jag Nation, as they like to call it. There was a phone call that came through earlier today, a supporter, and asking about, what's my activity looking like? What's my activity going to be like coming up. Where should they have a membership? And what I will say is subscribe everywhere. Don't cancel your subscription. Stay with us. I'm not like the rest of these content creators. I'm just not. I can't be. See, you have people that are in the content creating game. Oh, Lady Classic, welcome back. You have people that are in the content creating game, and then you have people that are here for real information and to share real information. And then you have people that are here to just junk up the algorithm. Like it's wild. I was, scrolling through, and like I literally had to take some just mental health pauses. And there were a couple other things that were going on this month, and I wanted to wait to see if that was going to happen, that could have affected something or other. But man, when I tell you, just watching the totality of what's happening on social media these days, it's kind of troubling to me. But the one thing that the listener that called earlier today brought up, he was talking about the fact that, I was Seventh-day Adventist, and, I grew up Seventh-day Adventist, and he was talking about the book, The Great Controversy. And for whatever reason, just hearing him say that, it hit me. It hit me. And it made me pull out my Bible. And I jumped right into Revelations. And like all of Revelations is, I mean, it's hard-hitting information. It's very hard-hitting information. But once you get to like the middle of the book and you start reading about the fall of Babylon, the prosty and the beast, and all of that, it gets pretty in depth. And I was reading Revelations 13, Ellen G. White, The Great Controversy. It's kind of wild because Spider Look would call me Ellen J. White, or Ellen J. Wright, and he was referring to her. And there are things that I would say that I definitely would say that I have in common, or that I find symmetry in when it comes to Ellen G. White. She was a female prophetess that was speaking heavy, back in the 1800s about the visions that she had in her sleep. I wouldn't dare call them dreams. I'll just call them visions. And honey, I get it. I get it. Trust me, I get it. It has been quite a January. And for me, I didn't want to speak too soon. And even the last live that I did, you guys who were there for that, you were there for that. And for the 40 some odd thousand people that showed up for that, salute to you. I pulled that down because we wanted to break that up into pieces and just create smaller bites of information, because we realize that not everybody has the patience to sit and listen to a whole 2-hour live. Not everybody does. And sometimes, the bursts of information, they break through in the algorithm a little bit better. So there were clips of that video made available today, and you'll be able to check that out. But when you look at the rollout of content this year and how they rolled out the chaos, it's it's something else. But this book, the great controversy between Christ and Satan. Um, yeah, it really is something else, and it gives you a great breakdown of what's happening. But while we're here in this moment, I just wanted to share a little bit with you from Revelations chapter 13. This is the two beasts. It's good to hear you as well. Good to hear you as well. It says, I looked and saw a beast coming up from the sea. This one had 10 horns and 7 heads, and a crown was on each of its 10 horns. On each of the heads were names, and the names were all insults to God. The beast that I saw had the body of a leopard, the feet of a bear, and the mouth of a lion. The dragon handed over its power and throne and great authority to the beast. One of the heads seemed to have been fatally wounded, but now it was well. Everyone on earth marveled at this beast, and they worshipped the dragon who had given its authority to the beast. They also worshipped the beast and said, no one is like the beast. No one can fight against it. Now, I just want to pause there for a second, because what I find really interesting about that is, how many times do you get on the internet and do you hear people say on the internet is undefeated? Nobody can beat the internet. The internet is undefeated. Have any of you ever heard people say that? Once again, the internet, and it's funny because people treat the internet like it's God. People treat the internet like everything that happens, that is said, that is done on this construct is real, is factual. It's something else. So let me keep reading about the internet in Revelation. I mean, the beast in Revelations. They also worshiped the beast and said, no one is like this beast. No one can fight against it. The beast was allowed to brag and claim to be God. And for 42 months, it was allowed to rule. The beast cursed God, and it cursed the name of God. It even cursed the place where God lives, as well as everyone who lives in heaven with God. It was allowed to fight against God's people and defeat them. It was also given authority over the people of every tribe, nation, language, and race. The beast was worshipped by everyone whose name wasn't written before the time of creation in the book of the Lamb, who was slain. Page turn. If you have ears, then listen. If you are doomed to be captured, you will be captured. If you are doomed to be unalived by sword, you will be by sword. This means that God's people must learn how to endure and be faithful. I now saw another beast. We're going to pause there at chapter 11. So, once again, did you hear what it said? If you live by the sword, you'll die by the sword. No, Kindred Spirit, I haven't. I'll check it out, I'm sure, one day. Hmm. Like I said, there's so much going on out here in this world. Amen and Asheo. Indeed, Pat Blair. If you live by something, you have to be prepared to die by that very thing. That's the word of God. If you have ears, you must listen. You must listen. And if you choose not to listen, then you can't be mad at what happens next. So, the oxymoron is humans trying to create. Yeah, exactly. Sweetheart, there's so much going on in this world that don't make no sense. Yet it still happens. So I whipped out the Bible today. First things first, Shabbat Shalom to those who observe. Um, it is Sabbath. And hmm, man, I promise you, Sabbath miracles happen all the time. I live for my Sabbath miracles. I have a few that I am so grateful for. My birthday became a Sabbath miracle when I turned 47. I'll be 49 this year. It's funny how fast time flies and all of the things that are going on in this world. But let me start by saying this. Be encouraged and be of good faith. This month my faith was challenged. It was challenged very heavy. I've been learning a lot of things in the backdrop. And when I'm not online, trust me, there's a reason why. Um, I told you guys the last time I showed up, I had to take a PTSD break because I had gotten some really interesting information. And it was quite triggering for me. And then the next thing you know, boom, the Corey Holcomb thing happened. And that was kind of interesting. Aloha to you, Sylvie. And man, I tell you, this whole Corey Holcomb thing, it was triggering for me all over again. I'm not gonna lie. Which is part of the reason why we're having the conversation that we're having tonight. Guys, we've sat down here and we've had conversations and we've talked about that film, The Devil's Advocate, and how lawyers were very instrumentally used to help evildoers get away with their crimes and totally just Alina, it's even deeper than that. It's even deeper than that. Yeah, folks, please do hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. But one of the things that Corey Holcomb has been highlighting, and I won't even say highlighting, he's been just putting it all out there, like heavy, putting it all out there. There's a particular lawyer that is very instrumental in what is happening against him right now at this time. Her name is Shawn Holley. Now, Shawn Holley has a very prestigious background. She's not like Ariel Mitchell kid. Like, she has a very, very, very prestigious background. I mean, she was a part of O.J. Simpson's Dream Team. She was there with Johnny Cochran. She was also there with Robert Kardashian. I guess that's why she's represented the Kardashian family um, in their efforts and antics throughout the years. Um, she's also represented Lindsay Lohan. It's funny. She did a bang up job. And when I say bang up, I am not talking positively. She did about as bang up a job with Lindsay Lohan as she did with Tory Lanez. Did I tell you she also represented Tory Lanez? But do you want to know one of the clients that she has that really, really, really just like poof. Actually, there's two clients that she has that that kind of blew my mind. One was Tiffany Haddish, and the other, none other than allow me to reintroduce himself. His name is the Diddler, Shawn Diddy Combs. Isn't that something? In the words of Corey Holcomb, the backdooria of the backdooria. Now, when you think about who this woman has been representing, another client that she had that also was very interesting to me, Cat Williams. Like a lot of interesting clients she has. So when this Corey Holcomb thing really started blowing out the water, it kind of like tripped me out because I'm just looking at the lineup. I'm looking at how all of this works. When he first started speaking about Shawn Holley going after him, it was early February 2025. And allegedly, Tiffany Haddish is the one that, introduced Christina, the alleged victim of Corey Holcomb. Oh, thank you, LA chick. Oh, Shabbat Shalom. She's the one that introduced Christina Payne to this this attorney of law. It's kind of wild. And when Corey first said something about it, and he said Tiffany Haddish put this BI on me, I'm like, that's wild. Why would she do that? What she got against Corey that she would do that? And then I started looking at the timeline. Now, right before Cassie's lawsuit hit, November of 2023, Tiffany Haddish was pretty heavy in the headlines, and she was going, or should I say, looking for arbitration, or should I say, her attorney of record, her lawyer, Shawn Holley, was looking for arbitration to go after her former friend, who was the mother of the two victims that were in that Funny or Die video PDF case that Tiffany Haddish was not just named in, but named in as a defendant, as an offender. So Shawn Holley went to the press and said that there was a non-disclosure agreement. They were going for arbitration to keep everything under wraps. All of this was fake. All of this was false. None of this was true. And then the next thing you know, Cassie's lawsuit comes out. Not long after that, Little Rod's lawsuit came out. And guess what? Guess who was representing Diddy in the Little Rod case? Take a guess. Who was the lawyer of record? Because it's not Mark Agnifilo, it's not Garagos, it's not any of the people from the team, it's not the Nicole Westmoreland woman. Yeah, Shawn Holley. And you know what? She said the exact same thing. She said that Little Rod's case was all false. It was all fictitious. It was all lies. None of it was real. Yet, it was the evidence that was presented in Little Rod's case and that Little Rod gave to the federal government that led to the HSI raids that happened shortly after she made that statement that it was all lies and it was all false and it was all going to be thrown out of court. Shawn Holley is her name. So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, this is the woman that was representing Tiffany Haddish in that Funny or Die foolishness, which she said was all lies and all crazy, yet it was settled out of court. Money was paid, yet it was never criminalized, which is wild. It's absolutely wild. Now, let's look at the timeline. Little Rod's case came out. She said everything about Tiffany and them. Oh, that was lies. She said everything about Diddy. Oh, that was lies. It was all lies. It was all lies. It was all lies. It was all lies, right? And you guys know who Ariel Mitchell is. Shawn Holley is the only other African American in this, this pet care. What's really wild though is when I went into the pedigree of who she actually is and who she's attached to in Hollywood, outside of her being a celebrity attorney and client. She's married to a world famous background vocalist and vocal coach, Dorian Holley. Dorian Holley, who sang background for Michael Jackson, I think all the way starting back at Thriller, all the way up until he passed away. For This Is It. He's done vocals and done background coaching for American Idol. He's also done vocals for Dancing with the Stars. He's put out projects. And guess what? They have children. And their children are artists as well. Just released a couple of projects. So these people are heavily invested in the music industry and the entertainment industry as a whole. Heavily invested. Her husband, Dorian Holley, for those of you, I don't know how many of you remember the Robert Townsend film, 5 Heartbeats, but there was a character in the film. I think it was Tico Wells that played it. I think that was his name. But he played the character Choir Boy. Well, the singing voice that they used for the character Choir Boy in the 5 Heartbeats is Shawn Holley's husband, Dorian Holley. Like, these people are heavily invested in Hollywood, heavily invested in the industry. I don't know. Maybe that's why they're working so hard to allegedly protect it. So let's look at the background here. Oh yeah. And it's funny because these people, they have all of these close ties and close connections, but they don't ever like to tell people who they're connected to. Like, unless it's a public relationship and there's some kind of business, they're all connected. They're all attached to each other. This is her husband, Dorian Holley. He's 69 years old. He'll be 70 soon. Yeah. So I want you guys to think about her illustrious list of clients. Now, when Tiffany Haddish segued herself into my life in 2024, it was April, late April, early May. It's wild because I'll never forget how it all happened. It was kind of crazy. And salute to Dorian Holley and his very, 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 very accomplished career as a background vocalist and voice coach. Salute to him. So, like I said, it's always the timing. It's the timing of it all that really does it for me. Cassie's lawsuit hits. Anna Kane's lawsuit hits, which is the girl in the D&G shirt that Lamisha Fuller was running around pretending that she was that white woman who was moved across state lines for the purposes of a sexual battery and abuse, and was gang essayed at daddy's house while she was still a minor. Then Little Rod's case came out after that. And Little Rod's case, man. Little Rod's case comes out. Shawn Holley comes forward, says it's all says it's all lies, says it's not real. And then the next thing you know, there's the raid. The raid happens. Late March, early May. There's some other news that just hit, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. Maybe we'll do that as a commercial break. But let me let the beat build. You know, maybe we should change the music up. We've been here for a while. Find a little something smoother while I lay down my rap. So, all of this stuff happens. Shawn Holley says Little Rod's all lies, all caps, yet it was his information that led to the HSI raid on all of Diddy's properties, New York, Miami, and LA, in that coordinated attack, to which Kim Kardashian stopped following Diddy just hours before the raid happened. Really interesting. I wonder if her attorney told her that would be best for her to do. And it's wild because Shawn Holley represents the Kardashians, and so does Alex Spiro over there at Quinn Emanuel. Ooh. I wonder if y'all see where I'm going. Yeah, that was Shawn. Well, Shawn Holley is a female, and her husband, who was the last image that we had up, her husband's name is Dorian. That's funny. He has they both have unisex names. It's really interesting. It could, yeah. Guy or girl names. So, oh, a lot of celebrities did publicly cut ties with Diddy. Tiffany Haddish pretended to be one of them. It's funny. I'm trying to figure out with the kind of billable hours that someone like Shawn Holley has, how Tiffany was able to afford to pay her. Tiffany was damn near destitute. Tiffany wasn't making any money. She wasn't getting any jobs. She was worried about losing everything that she had. So how do you afford to keep a lawyer like Shawn Holley on retainer? You know, a lot of people hear, oh, this person has a lawyer, that person has a lawyer, whoopty whoopty woo, yada yada yada. But nobody bothers to ever ask how these attorneys are getting paid. You know, I wonder if we went through and ran through all of these attorneys' financials, what we would find, what that paper trail would lead to. Because usually when you're dealing with criminals, they're paying you with ill-gotten gains. But I digress. So, if Shawn Holley, who's like, I think she's like, she runs anywhere from like 2,500 to 5 G's an hour, like ridiculous amounts of money these people are getting paid. I think her basic retainer for, you know, like anywhere, I think you gotta cough up like 50 to 100 racks just to get her on retainer. Like where was Tiffany getting this money from? As hard as it was for her. So yeah, in the midst of all of this, she says it's all cat. Little Rod's, you know, evidence leads the HSI team to the raid that led to the arrest, that led to the show trial, you know? I guarantee you one thing, Tyler Perry is not paying Tiffany Haddish's bills. That I can guarantee you. That's not his kind. And that's not his track. You know, it never really hit until I really started thinking about how it all played out. Why was Tiffany Haddish so busy trying to cozy up to me and be friends with me? Why? The day that she linked up with me, I was on Instagram wearing her ass out. Sure did. I wore her ass out because I was talking about her relationship with Chingy and how she said that her and Chingy I'm sure that was a payoff for something else. Because what I'm starting to come to understand and realize is that Tiffany Haddish it is an errand girl for the Illuminati, for the Illuminati. That's what I'm coming to realize. And just, I'm taking my time with it. Y'all know I like to take my time with it. Give me a second here. Let me show you what I'm working with. I was wearing her out about Chingy. Sure was. She said Chingy was her celebrity rap boyfriend. This was before, you know, Common. And she said that, you know, that was her celebrity rap boyfriend that she made the whoopee with. Right? But then when Chingy was asked about this so-called relationship that they had, he didn't remember nothing about it. What he remembered is he was hanging out with her in a hotel. They had some drinks. He got tired, passed out, and he don't know what happened that night. Tiffany also said that his cousin was around, and his cousin couldn't remember anything either. Oh, you remember Golden Aries? Yeah, she was in the comments that day. She was in the comments that day, heavy as hell. She sure was. I was wearing her ass out, and I said, I don't care if she is in the comments. I'm like, I'm trying to figure out, what kind of time is this chick on? Is she one of the fellas? Why don't your boyfriend remember being with you? And why does he say that y'all was having drinks and he got tired and passed out and don't know what happened to him? Next thing you know, Tiffany Haddish was reaching out to me. I ain't want to have nothing to do. I ain't want to talk to her at all. Oh no. Then after that, she wanted to talk to me. She wanted to be friends with me. She wouldn't da 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 whoopty whoopty woo yada yada yada. I told her I wanted to know what was going on with that case. I wanted to understand what was happening with that case. And why, when there were men that were involved, was she the only one that was being raked over the coals? Because even though Ariel Spears' name was mentioned in the case, along with David Spates, who aided and abetted, filmed, and edited that crime that happened to those poor little young people who were children of this woman's friend. Tiffany said that she had been set up. Tiffany said that Aries had called her crying after he found out her and I were in communication and said, I feel so bad for what happened to you, whoopty whoopty woo, yada yada yada. I get paid $2 million a year, and this is what they give me. I had to do it. I didn't have no choice. That's what Tiffany told me herself. And I said to her, well, if this is what it is, before I go digging into this whole lawsuit, I want to hear your side of the story, and I want to know why it's the black woman that's being raked over the coals for it, and none of these men are being forced to have to deal with anything. I mean, it's been acknowledged that Ariel Spears was involved in it, but David Spates, I mean, for crying out loud, people want to pretend like he ain't had nothing to do with it. They wrote this crap. They edited this crap. They filmed this crap. They produced this crap. And then they put it up online where it sat there for years. And nobody said nothing until that lawsuit hit. Tiffany agreed. For those of y'all who remember, I had her on the blue couch with me on video phone on a few occasions. And she promised that she would go to the blue couch and we would interview and we would sit down and we would talk about what really happened in the backdrop of that terrible video. Now, for certain reasons, I've been pussyfooting with that lawsuit. I've gone to a couple of people about that lawsuit to see if they want to go through and break it down with me. You know what? Everybody that I send it to, they all run from it. Everybody runs from it. I sent that video to a bona fide victim who had been through some of the very things that those children had been through in that lawsuit. And after I sent the email, I never heard from that person again. It's almost as if everybody who has industry ties has been told to stay away from this lawsuit. So since don't nobody want to have anything to do with it, I'ma just have something to do with it myself. Now, because of the nature of it, we're going to do exactly what we said, and we're going to be reviewing all of the documents on Patreon. But We'll be doing the Q&A and the commentary of what we do here on YouTube, and there may be some members only content that we shape around it, but it's time to start busting this stuff out, especially this guy David Speaks, because he's still working and operating. And last I heard, I don't think he was barred from working with children. Now, he's supposedly a married man who doesn't have a problem with sticking his tongue in other grown-ass men's mouth, including Aries Spears. Something's real off here with all of that. But it's wild, because Tiffany asked me about my investigation into David Spates. And she asked me for information on David Spates, which I shared with her. It's funny how that turned around. Now, this is the thing. If I had done more research, and I had paid attention to the fact that the lawyer that was representing her in that child PDF case was the same lawyer that was representing Diddy, maybe I would have thought twice. Tiffany had a couple of conversations. You want to know what? She gave me the celebrity publicity answer. Oh, yeah. Diddy, I don't know nothing about Diddy. I told them, don't do nothing around me. Don't do nothing around me. Cause I'll tell. I'll tell. Interesting. Like, that's what everybody had to say. Nobody saw nothing. Nobody knew nothing. Nobody, like, it's just wild. It really is wild how they all, like, but there were some very, 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 very interesting things that happened in the time that I got to know Tiffany Haddish in person. There was a whole, her stories about, oh, how she worked so hard to stay away from this and to stay away from that, and whoopie-whoopie-woo, and yada, yada, yada. I mean, when I look back at it now, of course it was all a sob story. But there were a couple of sketchy moments. She was always trying to invite me out to go to certain things. And when I look back at it now, I see what it is. Especially that night. She was very persistent on getting me to go to some male exotic strip club. Yep. She did the fashion week thing, which was her humiliation ritual. I mean, because that's what, let's just be honest, that's what it is. That's what it was. Like, if we look at everything that happened, she did the fashion week thing. She went to Africa. She got embarrassed in Africa. Like, she had to do pictures with Diddy at parties. Babe, I can pull up pictures of Tiffany Haddish doing, like, events with Diddy. Like, hold on a second. Wait a minute. Like, I think people keep forgetting, like, exactly how intertwined with Diddy she was. And it's funny because she's sitting there pretending. Like, she's pretending heavy. Like, real heavy. She's pretending like she did the exact same thing that everybody else has done. She lied about her close connection to him while being represented with the very lawyer that he pays and keeps on retainer. Like, I got images that maybe I ought to post up of These people at a whole concert. I mean, like, they did whole concerts. FAMU Bringing Home concert featuring Diddy, Angela Rye, Will Packer, DJ Khaled, Tiffany Haddish, and more. She did something else. They did the other concert for, like, I mean, seriously, like, there's so much that she and the Diddler had going on. They had a thing going on. Sure did. Had a lot going on. A lot going on. Yet nothing ever happened around her. Will Smith too. I mean, they all did it. Come on. Jay-Z too. But, like, they put her on me after the raid, try to befriend me and see if I was looking for, she had one of her agent people coming up to me. Oh, the Jay-Z thing? Oh, that was the funniest thing. That was the funniest thing. By the way, you know what? Now that somebody said that, maybe we should get into that a little bit. Maybe we should get into that a little bit. There's some new interesting things that have come forward. Allegedly, oh no, imagine, allegedly, Pusha T and Mr. Sean Carter are on the Epstein files. Which is wild. It's wild that all of that that's been being covered over, because I think I could have sworn that I have said to the public on several occasions, there were multiple rap music videos that were filmed at Epstein Island. I'm sure. I know his thirsty ass ain't got no problem with he dies to come forward. I don't know, Murad, he's worrying me a little bit. Like, now, there's a new lawsuit that came out, and he's sitting there and going through all of the nasty, gory, perverted details, and honestly, it sounds like he's enjoying this more than anything. Yeah. Epstein, Weinstein, Carter, Combs. Meanwhile, R. Kelly just got his release date. He ain't gonna be getting out until almost 2050. They got him set to die in jail. I'm taking all of this and I'm piecing all of this together because I need you guys to understand a few things. Like, I want you guys to really, 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 really understand a few things. Like, we're not living in the era of, everything is going to be exposed one way or the other. It's all going to be exposed one way or the other. But you have to remember, when we're dealing with the internet, when we're dealing with the www dot 666 dot, when we're dealing with 666 www, the number of the beast, when we're dealing with all of that, they won't play every game possible. One of my new things that I do, that I've been doing, especially this month, is just combing through the internet, putting in things that I know to be factual, things that I know to be real, and seeing how it pops up now. And guess what? They've actually programmed AI to now rewrite history. There's about 10 different things that I know to be true that I've gone through now and look, and AI is saying, not saying that it's not true, saying that it's not verifiable. Like that's their new word that they're using now. Not verifiable. This isn't verifiable. That isn't verifiable. Not verifiable. This isn't like, it's wild how they're playing that game. Because they're playing that game, and they're playing that game very heavy. People think that just because you pull up something on the internet, it's real. To sit there and to listen to Corey Holcomb talk about how there was an AI video done of him and Anton that reworked what actually happened, that people saw in real time, and people were believing that, and people were running with that. To sit there and listen to him talk on his show, and listen to Craig talk on the show, and them go back and acknowledge what I have been saying about that video being AI manipulated, because it was sped up, just like they did with the Damore Hadley video, just like they altered the video with me and Storm Monroe. Like, this is what they're doing. For crying out loud, Cat Williams was in court last year in the midst of the whole Diddy trial and sentencing malarkey, when they were going after him and trying to pin Reggie Morrow's unalivement on him in some way. And he was in trial for an SA case where the lawyer coming against him was sanctioned for admitting AI evidence, trying to frame him. Like, that's what we're dealing with. That's what we got going on out here. And it's wild that this comes up, because that brings me back to Shawn Holley, because Tory Lanez also came forward and said that Shawn Holley destroyed his case on purpose. He gave her like $300,000 and she destroyed his case, and then she withdrew from the case. She was the lawyer that refused to have the firearm tested, because if she had had that firearm tested while she was representing Tory Lanez, if she had done that, things might have went very differently for him in his trial. Very differently for him in his trial. So I'm just trying to figure out, how were you working with Johnny Cochran and y'all sat there and argued about whether or not a pair of gloves fit OJ's hands, and that was the thing that busted it open to make it possible for the jury to let him loose? Like, how do you go from a lawyer that fights over the most tedious of evidence to becoming a lawyer that throws out exculpatory evidence that is paramount in exonerating your client? Like, that just sounds kind of crazy. You pay somebody $300,000 and they don't even want to have the firearm that you're being accused of using tested? Why not? Yeah, she was on the OJ case. Shawn Holley was. She's been around for a long time doing celebrity trials. Sure has. Only protect the rich. The way she messed over Lindsay Lohan, the way she messed over Tory Lanez, they were rich. They paid her well. So what's the excuse there? Well, I mean, you said rich perverts, but I mean, not necessarily. Look at Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein is a rich PDFer, and he's in jail. Me Too came forward, did all kinds of stuff. He was ready to come forward and blast out all of Hollywood. He was sitting down with Candace Owens, and Candy Pants was making a big deal of the whole situation. And the next thing you know, she destroyed everything. Oh, I don't know what happened. I had a bunch of files in the backdrop, and they're all gone. I guess I'll be able to get them back. My point is, I mean, I guess you could call her a psyop, or you could just call her a butcher. I guess you could just call her a butcher. Well, I gotta call her Candy Pants. She's a whole video vixen. And she wasn't an artist. She's a video girl. She's Candy Pants. So, anywhoozin', Tory Lanez had made it very clear, and he had said that he believed that she botched his case on purpose. Now, it was wild because I was looking at a video of the No Jumper people, and Poetic Fatso. Hey, what's going on, LP? Poetic Fatso and some other weird yarmulke looking gentlemen we're sitting there talking about his lawyer, I mean, she passed on the gun, but she got him a deal. She told him to take the deal. He should have just took the deal. And he was stupid, and now look at him. And this is what they were doing. Like, they were putting pressure in the media on him to take a deal so that he wouldn't go through trial. I mean, I don't know how you're going to go against, I mean, she's a beloved, Mega Man is a beloved figure, and you can't beat a woman in court, and whoop-de-whoop-de-woo, and yada, yada, yada. You know, right after she destroyed Tory Lanez's case and then walked away and then left him with another lawyer that was unprepared to effectively represent him in a trial of that magnitude, she got Kerry Washington to be the front person to executive produce a law, you know, this law drama called Reasonable Doubt, named after Jay-Z's first album, using his song titles as names of the episodes. I mean, for crying out loud, I think one of the first episodes that opened up with one of Mega Man's songs, and she was his attorney, and the series is about her. I'm just trying to figure it out. Now, their whole thing was, why destroy the case? Because apparently somebody wanted him to go away for it. Do you hear what I'm saying? I want you to think of the kind of people that she successfully represents, and then I want you to think about the kind of people that she unsuccessfully represents. A lawyer of her magnitude, a lawyer with her background and with her legal prowess, there's no way No way in the world she made that kind of mistake. Understand this. This is the same lawyer that's now working with Christina Payne, that's trying to get a firearm case put on Tory Lanez, who actually has a restraining order against this woman, Christina, already. The man who she was saying was her husband, who was just her boyfriend, who she's no longer with, also has a restraining order against this woman. I have myself personally talked to at least one person that has confirmed for me that she is a DURGS dealer, that she deals everything that they said she does. I have talked to one other person who knows her, who has confirmed that she does do pharmaceuticals and of the illegal kind, and that she has issues with DURGSs. Like, this Shawn Holley person is the one that's representing Christina Payne. And once again, I have to ask, how does, and no disrespect, how does a loser like Christina Payne, whose whole job has been trying to be a comedian while hustling dope in front of comedy clubs and doing hand-to-hands and delivery service, how does she afford an attorney like this? What kind of money does she got? How can Christina Payne afford an attorney like Shawn Holley? Like, how? I don't know if any of y'all bothered to watch the 5150 show. Corey had a gentleman who was actually testifying on this person's behalf. Where people were on the phone telling him, coaching him while he was at court to lie and say that he saw Corey with a firearm. He should be angry. He should be very angry. Because she tried to shake him down. And it didn't happen. And let's not forget her close relationship and ties to Harvey Levin and TMZ, which has now started following Corey Holcomb. Just like if they get a gander or if they get a read that I may or may not be somewhere, they follow me. Like they were following me around at the courthouse when I went to the courthouse for the Diddy trial, looking to stage something. I don't think she has anything hanging over this lawyer at all, because she was looking like she was waiting for a moment to be able to get Corey Holcomb. Tiffany Haddish is the one who made sure she got to Shawn Holley. Tiffany Haddish is the one that put all of that together. Corey Holcomb speaks very candidly about some of the same people that I speak about very candidly. But back to the Tory Lanez thing. Like I was saying, Tory Lanez said that he believed that she did this on behalf of Roc Nation. They said, if the only evidence that you have is that show and that it just so happens to be named after his album and uses some of his songs and uses some of the Megan Stallion songs. You sound crazy. It's just a coincidence. Everything's always a coincidence. Everything's always, whatever. But part of the reason why I put this image up here is because I'm about to, I don't know, just string a few things together before we get out of here. We're not going to be here very long. Now, the blonde woman at the edge of this screen, it's Marcy Croft. For those of you who don't know, she's currently now in a heated legal battle with Tony Busby. Tony Busby is about to shake her down to her drawers. And he's also about to expose the fact that everything that she did, bringing lawsuits against him to try to leverage his law firm into leaving the Diddy cases and the Roc Nation cases that he has alone. Because she just made a bad boo-boo. She told on herself. See, Quinn Emanuel couldn't go after Busby's law firm. So what did they do? They tapped in another lawyer to make it look like they weren't doing this. Busby had them cold, especially with that autistic victim from Alabama, the one from the VMAs that said that Jay-Z and Diddy did things to her. That woman who was bullied and harassed to the point where she was willing to dismiss the case with prejudice so the case could never be brought forward again. And then she was further harassed until that they could find a way to get a soundbite from her so that they could AI voice manipulate it to make a liar out of her so people would believe that she was lying on Sean Carter. Meanwhile, while all this was going on and all these battles were going on, Marcy Croft was busy waging war against Tony Busby and going to his former clients and offering to do their cases pro bono, to sue him, to go after him so that they could find a way to complicate his legal practice and possibly even his law license, so he wouldn't be able to continue to keep doing the things that he was doing. See where I'm going with this? Now understand this, when Tory Lanez was going through what Tory Lanez was going through, Diddy and Jay-Z were still very much so friends and brothers in real time, online and in real life. They were still hanging out with each other, hanging out at each other's houses. Their kids were still calling each of them Uncle this and Uncle that. Uncle Jay, Diddy, Uncle this, Uncle that, Uncle Shawn. All of that was still going on. That Tory Lanez trial happened, the end of 2022? They were still cool. They didn't break up, or should I say his lawyer didn't break up their very, very, very strong bromance until December of 2024. Why would it be so hard to believe that they were able to get Diddy's lawyer to destroy their case? Like, look at Ariel Mitchell. The Ashley Parham case came out, and whether or not that case is real or fake, she was representing on it, and then all of a sudden she adds me, Drewski, Odell Beckham to the case, totally invalidating any kind of credibility that it might have, and boom, now all of a sudden the case is dismissed, and don't no lawyer want to take it. There's something wrong. There is something very, very wrong with the fact that these lawyers, like, do you know how many lawyers I've gone to over the course of the past, I don't know how long, for I don't know how when, asking them to take my very real cases, my very winnable cases, and next thing you know, I get called, we get through a consultation, and the next thing you know, boom, they ghost me. You think I'm not supposed to believe that lawyers aren't being threatened not to represent me? Allegedly. You got all of these so-called lawyers that sit online creating all kind of just crafty legal narratives. You got all of these lawyers who are sitting out here collecting hundreds of thousands to the millions of dollars to screw over people. Allegedly. And they're all still practicing. Exactly, Michael. Like, I want y'all to think about all of these things. All of these lawyers up here have very duplicitous work ethic. The way they're manipulating the law. I need y'all to understand something. When it comes to what's happening to Corey Holcomb, it is very triggering for me because it is no different than what is happening to me. And what I'm seeing as I'm looking closer and closer and closer, he and I have the same enemies, the exact same enemies. So what does that say? He's speaking out against Shluminati and Shluminati practices. I'm speaking out against Shluminati and Shluminati practices. But we not working together. Yet the same people he has problems with, I have problems with. Meanwhile, you have all of these lawyers. There's a lawyer right now that's going after WAC 100 that's trying to put gun cases on people too. Like, these people are insane. These people are all insane. So, after all that I've looked into and everything that I've seen, that's where I'll be aiming for the immediate future. Because this has to stop happening. This has to stop happening. This can't keep happening. It can't keep happening that people are just getting away with literally getting away with just destroying people's lives. Like, the stuff that they're doing, the crazy work that they're doing is ruining people's lives. You know, and it's wild because I'm not a perfect person. Corey Holcomb is not a perfect person. You know, a lot of people that speak up and speak out are not perfect people. And it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Revelations 13, chapter 11. And now I see another beast. This one came out of the ground. It had two horns like a lamb, but spoke like a dragon. It worked for the beast whose fatal wound had been healed, and it used all its authority to force the earth and its people to worship the beast. It worked mighty miracles, and while people watched, it even made fire come down from the sky. This second beast fooled people on earth by working miracles for the first one. Then it talked them into making an idol in the form of the beast that did not die after being wounded by the sword. It was allowed to put breath into the idol so that it could speak. Everyone who refused to worship the idol of the beast was unalived. All people were forced to put a mark on their right hand or forehead, whether they were powerful or weak, rich or poor, free people or slaves. They all had to have the mark, or else they could not buy or sell anything. This mark stood for the name of the beast and for the number of its name. You need wisdom to understand the number of the beast, but if you are smart enough, you can figure this out. Its number is 666, and it stands for a person. Honey, none of us know. Just like none of us know the day or the hour. None of us know. But I'm telling you right now, we just have to be ready. You know, people are talking about world war and all of this. We're already at war. We're at war with ourselves. There is a war against God. There is definitely a war going on. We got to be ready. So, for the last day of January and going into the first day of Black History Month, I want to say Shabbat Shalom to all. Happy Sabbath to you. For those who are already in it, for those who are just going into it, stay prayed up. But know this, we're about to start kicking over some truth pots, and we're about to start getting to the bottom of it. Does everybody know about the Tiffany Haddish case? Absolutely. Does everybody know that the case was settled? Absolutely. And yet, nobody's asking why that case wasn't criminalized, because it should have been. The things that happened in that case were absolutely criminal. I wanted to give Tiffany a chance to be able to speak on those things herself, to explain. She said she was framed. I wanted to have that conversation with her, but after almost a year and a half, I think it's pretty clear she wasn't trying to have no conversation about it at all. So if that's the case, why did she lie and say she was willing to interview? Why did she lie and say she was willing to sit down and explain it all? Why? Because at this point in time, I think it's fair to say she lied. Which means whatever reasons that she had to come into my life to speak to me in any way, it was all a diversion. What do I think about that? I think it's more distraction. That's what I think. I think people need to stop paying attention to Mr. Jackson's antics, and people need to let go of what these kids is doing. They are all still playing the role while they're sitting there trying to prepare the industry to kick back into place. Oh yeah, she got a new show now. Yeah. You know, when you're faithful and you're loyal to the beast, they get a little spoiled. But you know what? maybe it's a good thing that this happened because while she's busy on her new show, I'm going to be busy on mine, making sure that nobody forgets exactly what she did to those children and getting to the bottom of how somebody who didn't have any money was being represented and having the legal fees, being able to pay legal fees to such a prestigious attorney that costs so much money. I, I think there should be somebody asking really, really, really pertinent and relevant questions. And if you look at the way she tried to derail me, if you look at the way she worked as a part of the setup against Corey Holcomb, I think it's fair to say that Ms. Haddish is a Schluminati pick me, who was down to do missions so that she could get back into the good graces of the game. And if that's what it's going to be, then that's what it's going to be. But we're not going to forget it. I gave her grace. I gave her an opportunity to speak the truth and to expose what really happened. Since she don't want to, listen to me, Yvonne. I can't say that I did either. But you know what? I play nice. I'll play nice for a while. But when it's time to get dirty, it's time to get dirty. And I think it's time to get dirty. A lot of people never thought she was funny. But you know what though? It don't always take amazing talent to make it in Hollywood. I know. Which is why I cut it real short, the time that I spent around her. Because I seen what was going on. And I knew what that was all about. You know, I've walked into danger on a good few occasions just to get the truth. Yeah. So on that note, my name is Jaguar Wright. And guys, I won't be gone so long. You'll be seeing me. We're going to be a little bit more regular. We're going to be getting into these documents on. We're going to be going into these documents on Patreon. We're going to be doing, conversation here, and we're going to be getting into some more things. But I am going to be talking more on. Hey, listen to me. We get disappointed all the time. All the time. That's why we got to believe in God. We got to believe in God. We can't be putting faith into the beast. We can't. And I guess that's why I shared that chapter from the Bible today. Revelations 13. Y'all, arm up on your word. Listen to me. I've missed y'all too. And on that note, the missing is over. We back in swing. We just going to plug at this one piece at a time because there's so much information that's being thrown out here. They're just trying to gaslight everybody into being forgetful so that you don't see how they're manipulating this way or manipulating that way. Y'all know how we roll. We ain't gonna let that happen. My name is Jaguar Wright. Salute to all the fam. Y'all don't forget, make sure you got your memberships. Make sure you stay subscribed. Here, Patreon. Make sure over in the West. Make sure stay close. We got a lot happening this year. I don't think you're going to want to miss any of it. Until next time, Shabbat Shalom, peace, and I'm out.